Hey everyone, what's up? It's Luke here from ClientTribe. We're an appointment setting agency for B2B businesses, including recruitment agencies. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some reasons why, if you're running outbound campaigns to develop new business for a recruitment agency, why it may not be working for you and what to do about it. So the first things to think about are the messaging that you're using. And I want you to think about what's happening in your marketplace. Companies that are hiring, or even companies that aren't hiring, are getting contacted all the time by recruitment agencies, lead generation agencies, and all kinds of other businesses that want to set up sales calls with them. And so you have to be aware of the level of competition there is. And if you think more deeply about that, what messaging are they using and where are they getting their lead data from? Those are two very important things for you to understand when you're trying to understand why your particular campaigns aren't working. So let me give you some examples. One of the most common messaging mistakes that you might see is just being far too generic and sending a one-size-fits-all message to your ideal customer profile. So you might be sending messages that say things like, hey, see that you're looking for a sales development rep. I also saw that this role has been open for 2 months. Would you like help finding candidates? So that message is quite standard, and you can imagine how many of your competitors are sending similar messages. But more importantly, you can think about how many messages just like that your target audience is receiving on a weekly basis. A lot. So how do you stand out from the crowd? It's through specificity, right? It's through demonstrating that you understand what they do, who they do it for, how they do it, and how that relates to the kind of person that they would want to see, the kind of candidates that they're interested in meeting with. Because when you demonstrate an understanding of that, there's a much higher chance they're going to agree to have a meeting with you. So that's the messaging side of things covered on a very basic level. And I have other videos here that show you a lot more in-depth ideas on exactly what to say for a recruitment offer if you're doing outbound marketing. Let's talk about the data. So if you're using Apollo, for example, which is a very common database that is used by loads of people, then the leads that come up in your searches are going to be exactly the same leads that are coming up in everybody else's searches, because the vast majority of people are just depending on Apollo. They can get it pretty cheap. They can do a search and then use another service to extract those leads from Apollo very cheaply. And so the leads that do come up in those searches are just getting tons and tons of emails like yours. And there's a twofold factor to it, which is that they're more likely to click the mark as spam button, and your mailboxes are going to get burned pretty fast. So those are multiple reasons why you need to look at alternative data sources. Now, I'm not saying to completely stop using Apollo at all. I'm saying that by starting with another data source and then moving that data into Apollo. So for example, if you find a list of companies that are on some kind of website that you know that they fit a certain criteria that you want to focus on, you can get all of their domain names and then you can put all of those into Apollo as a starting point. And if they meet your criteria, that's immediately going to get you much more targeted results than just doing a generic Apollo search. What I do love about Apollo is the amount of filters that it has and the control that it gives you over being able to find the right people that you want. The only problem is that other people that are very familiar with those filters are doing the same thing. So by starting with other data sources and then moving into Apollo, that's a good move. You may need to use Apollo at some point during your process of building lists and enriching lists, But another great source, I'll tell you a few. So there's Sales Navigator. What's awesome about LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the amount that you can enrich that data with AI to customize the data and give you talking points in your emails that make it hyper targeted in ways that the recipient reading it would think, this was written by a human. They did a lot of research on me and my company. There's no way that this is just a spray and pray approach. So that is awesome, and we'll talk about that in another video. Built With is another awesome source of data if you want to target companies that are using specific technologies. Let's say that you recruit for companies that need Salesforce specialists. You can go on Built With and you can download a list of Salesforce specialists, companies, Salesforce clients, and then that would be your seed list of companies. You can then put that into Apollo or many other tools to find decision makers in those companies. So I'm just giving you some ideas on not only the messaging but also the lead list sources, and how by improving those you can dramatically improve the results that you're seeing from your recruitment business development messages. So I hope this has given you some food for thought. If you would be interested in having us run campaigns for you, then get in touch with me anytime. You can find me at ClientTribe.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.